Okay. You can see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, there it is.
What is Open Playbook?
There's a existential flexibility, is what it's called, which is the willingness to make a profound shift in strategy in order to advance your cause. There's the famous story of Steve Jobs in 1979 with some of his senior executives. They visited Xerox PARC, and Xerox showed them a technology they'd invented called the graphic user interface. Now remember, Steve Jobs had a just cause. He wanted to empower individuals to stand up to Big Brother, to the status quo. And clearly the computer was an amazing technology to help him do that. And this graphic user interface would allow way more people to use a computer just by clicking a mouse on the screen, as opposed to having to learn the whole computer language, which is how it was back then. And so as they were leaving Xerox, he said to his people, we have to invest in this. And somebody in the group said, we can't. We've already invested millions of dollars and countless man hours in a different direction. If we invest in this graphic user interface, we'll blow up our own business. To which Jobs said, better we should blow it up than someone else. Mm-hmm. And that decision became the Macintosh, which profoundly changed computing today. You know, the entire platform of Windows is designed to act like a Macintosh. So his willingness to make that profound strategic shift and walk away from money already spent and time already spent is a perfect example of existential flexibility.
And what about worthy rival?
So as I said before, worthy rival is someone or an organization or a person whose very strengths reveal to you your weaknesses. You know, sometimes we have envy for them, and sometimes they make us angry, and sometimes we think we're trying to beat them. But the reality is we usually have an emotional response to them because they're good at what they do, and it makes us feel insecure. It makes us feel like we have work to do. So instead of directing that energy against them, rather we should express gratitude that they helped reveal to us our weaknesses so that we can work on them.
These people had one thing in common.
Thank you for sharing with us the video. Very heavy conversation indeed. Karibuni sana. Welcome, 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 good people. Welcome to 20X, to our webinar tonight. We're excited to have you here. And I can see the numbers are growing. I can see people I know and others I don't. I'm very excited to meet all of you and to get to know each and every one of you. And yes, we are here. I wanted us to start with our introductions. I think Eunice will introduce herself last. I'll start with myself just so that you know who is speaking to you. And I'll go to Faith and Derek. Is Derek still here? Yeah. Then now we'll agree on how we are going to get to know you so that you get to know us too. My name is Juliana Mutisia. I run operations at 20X. I train and I talk, and I love making people happy in your business and in your life, really. That is my life mission. And I'm excited to be here today and looking forward to living this meeting with Kenyans who are happy and looking forward to their business getting better and better. Faith, please go next, if you don't mind.
And I am Faith Apondi. I work at 20X as the sales and marketing executive. You're all welcome on board. I hope you'll all gain. Thank you.
Thank you. Derek, please.
Good evening. My name is Derek Gadirimo. I'm in digital marketing for 20X, and I write words that sell.
Indeed, he does. Indeed, he does. So thank you. Now that you know us at 20X, except Eunice, you'll get to meet her and get to know her more. But for us now, I want to give a chance to at most 5 people, depending on how fast we go, to tell us your name. Yeah, of course, you can see it on screen, but we want to hear it from you. What do you sell? This is a salespeople's meeting. It is for our entrepreneurs, for people who are in business. So let's know what you sell. Let's know what you're struggling with at the most right now. I know we're in a country where there are so many struggles. We have 3%, 2%, 0.9%. I'm sure you've not heard of the other two, they're coming. But yeah, so apart from that, what are you struggling with in your business and how are you dealing with it? You know, let's hear that so that we know how to be of use to you. We are 20X. Our dream is to increase your sales by 20 times. What is your dream? So please, 5 people, just unmute yourself. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Give us your name, what you sell, your biggest struggle in your business now, and what how you're dealing with the struggle that you're having. Please, let's go. I'm waiting for the first person who is going to be the boldest of all the beautiful ones.
Rita.
Thank you, Rita Kenyanya. Nice to see you. Go ahead, please.
All right. Yeah, I won't put my video on. I hope that's okay.
Okay. All right. You're excused for now. Thank you.
All right. So my name is Rita Kenyanya. I am a cake artist. I sell emotion. Though right now it's difficult with the economy to even convince people that dessert is the cure for stress. So yeah, still trying to maintain my value addition, my product value, so that when this storm blows over, because it surely will blow over,
Yes,
I'll still remain standing. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Very nice, Rita. Thanks for coming up first. Who is going next, please? We are number 2 now. I'm waiting. Someone put on your mic and your video and tell us what you do, your name, what you sell, what your struggle is, and how you're dealing with it. Someone please pick up. Can I pick on someone?
Hi,
Yeah,
everyone.
Oh, lovely, Martha. Thank you. Go on.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Martha.
My name is Martha of Baked Art by Martha. It's my first time here.
Welcome.
I sell cakes. I think that's the only way I can describe their memories. My struggle right now is how to increase my prices with the inflation. It's been a headache trying to explain to clients that things have gone up.
Oh, yeah.
And trying to get them to pay what I'm worth has been a struggle. So in the process, it's either I've been losing some, gaining some, but we struggle on, but it's a challenge. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing with us, Martha. We hear you, we understand you, and yes, we have a way out of that, believe you me. Somebody else, we have 2 more spaces. I have, I think, 3 more minutes of introductions, please. And the rest of you, if you don't want to speak, you can actually type on the chat. I'll read out who you are and what you do. Someone, where are the gentlemen here? Simon Mushiri, would you like to speak to us? I'm looking at the gentleman. Simon Mushiri, are you here? Okay, some girl somewhere, please speak to us.
All right, my name is Maggie.
Thank you, Maggie.
Ogua. I am in the business of selling fun. I do team building, so I try to create fun memories for teams, friends, individuals, corporates. The struggle I have is a consistent business. Sometimes you could have a month when there's a lot of work, then you have months that are very dry. One is because people think that team building is not, it's one of those things they can shelve and don't have to do it. And then also the costing, the value, the portion to team building is very low. Sometimes you really have to show why they need to pay what they need to pay. And essentially, there are people who really spoil the market and have very low prices and don't give good service. So sometimes you get people comparing me to that, and it doesn't help very much. But yeah, so that's what I do. Thank you.
Maggie, stick with us. We'll find you a way, I assure you. Oh, Jeffrey Mudu, you can also talk to us. One more person. I have a minute of introductions. Please, let's also populate the chat.
Hello, good evening all. My name is Jeffrey Udui. I'm in the water space. I sell solutions. It's amazing when you have to struggle to sell solutions because I know there are a lot of problems out there. What I do plumbing works, drainage works, irrigation works. I also sell some equipment, some of which are water pumps, water filters, and water purifiers, and even water meters, token water meters. Now, my greatest struggle or challenge is to get a team, to make a team that can deliver sales. I almost have come to a place to believe that we don't have salespeople in this country. So I want to discover from this interaction where salespeople are found. Thank you.
Oh, amazing. What a unique challenge. We're in a country where everybody's struggling for work, wondering about work. Eunice, get ready to start. And yet we have people who don't want to sell. Of course, it's because selling isn't easy. And I'm a BCom graduate and we had sales in our course. We are not taught the sales that is out here, the one that needs to, get people selling, people attraction selling, the one that Eunice will talk about in a few minutes. Thank you so much, Jeffrey, and Karibu Sana. And yes, we have a way to a solution for you. I'm not saying this just for the sake, because it's true. And as we end this, you'll find out that we have a way. And for us, for you, it's just give you salespersons who are trained to sell, not trained for a job. That's the solution. And yes, we have a way for that, and looking forward to speaking with you further on it. Now, please let the rest of us write on our chat. At some point, we'll get to mention everyone who is here. So please write in the chat. Eunice, take it up. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Juliana, for that wonderful session. I like the introductions, And I'm wondering, are you guys really salespeople? How can someone be begging for someone to introduce themselves? As in, Juliana was literally begging you to introduce yourself. You're given a platform with all these people and you do not introduce yourself. How do you do that? Anyway, you type in the chat, tell us who you are, what you sell, and your biggest challenge at the moment. Yeah, Juliana, I'm sure she'll keep her promise. She'll read, I don't know whether you'll manage to read all the names, but yes, she said she will. So just introduce yourself. All right. So today is a very different day because it's a meeting for CEOs. You're here because you're a CEO of your organization. And we want to have that candid conversation. Why is sales not happening in your company? Why? Let me ask. Okay, let's start. Is it happening? And sales, are you selling? Okay. Are you meeting targets? Which is the right question. Are you meeting targets? Are you exceeding your targets? Let me hear. Simon Mushiri, tell us what is happening in your company. This is a CEO's meeting, so you can feel free because they will also be responding. They will see whether they are sharing the same challenges that you are. Simon? Okay, Simon doesn't seem to be here. Let me ask who is here. Ruth Degwa. Ruth, how are your sales doing? How are you performing? Do you have a sales team? Watu wameanza kuhepa. Anyway, let me start. I will keep asking you questions. Just for the sake of your understanding, when we come for these webinars, We like to make them as interactive as possible. In fact, if you can switch on your camera, the better, so that you are more visible for others to see. You don't know who is here. You know, the person here could be your next customer. So take this moment. We allow networking in our webinars. I think this is the only webinar that you will go to where you're allowed to sell. Okay, but you're not taking that advantage, unfortunately. All right, so I will just go right into it because we want to be done by 8 p.m. So I'll not take a lot of your time. We want to keep it brief because we have many days together. Sorry, what happened here? Okay. Yeah, so we are looking at how do you enable sales daily, consistently, and predictably. Please note the word enable. Why? Because you're the boss. Your work should be an enabler. It should be an enabler. So how do we do this? So by the end of today's session, I just want you to go home with 3 things that you're able to understand why your salespeople are not selling, or why you're not finding the salespeople who can stay. I'll give you a few tips on how you can sell and help them sell, and also give you a clear steps on the way forward. We've already gotten to know each other, so please keep typing in the chat, say who you are. The more clearer you can be, you never know who you're meeting here, okay? Before I get to today's session, it's important that you know who is your trainer today. She's here, she's a scientist, studied chemistry and mathematics at the University of Nairobi. Later studied, became a Microsoft certified system engineer, studied advanced diploma in computer studies at NCC Education. And after working a little bit in a pharmaceutical company, I got a job as a trainer at IAT, Institute of Advanced Technology. We were training government officials, NGOs, UN, WFT, all those people, how to use computers. It used to be so interesting. Imagine you're 25 years old and you're seeing these guys. We used to think people in their 40s were old. I can't believe that 40 is so young. But you're looking at these guys and they couldn't hold a mouse. You tell them, take your mouse and point to the start button, and then they would take the mouse with their hands and start pointing. It was amazing. So we were that generation that grew with the computers. And then after that, I wanted to make a lot of money, so I resigned from the job after being a trainer for over 5 years, and I started selling life insurance. Why? Because I was told for you to be rich, you need to be to be great in sales. So the only way to learn sales was to sell. And Juliana went to school to learn sales. Me, I went to the streets to learn sales. So you can see. And she tells me that the sales they learned is different from the sales on the street. Yeah. Okay, so after that, so I started selling life insurance. Initially, I really struggled. My first 3 months, I sold nothing. Why? I would call it an identity crisis, where everybody thought I'm so educated to sell insurance. But I kept the faith and I was able to succeed. I actually became an ACI. I qualified for ACI every year that I sold. And I was promoted to be a unit manager within my first year. So the 5 months that I sold was, so significant because I sold more than many people who had been in the industry for a while. And then I was promoted to be country sales manager. where we were able to transform a business that was making millions of losses into profitability. After that, in 2017, I resigned and started a company called BSmart. It's an online insurance comparison platform. Why did we start this? Because as a salesperson, I had, a lot of complaints about, people complaining they don't get to understand their insurance until they have a claim. So they complain that, I'm being told there's a waiting period when I'm at the hospital, or I'm being told there's something called excess when the accident has happened. So we thought, how can we create a platform that will enable people to understand the insurance in advance before they buy? Why? Because, you can only, the best way to sell is to provide a solution that people are looking for. And I'm an author of 2 books. Sell Me This Pen, Your Sales Bible. Please go to Nuria. Nuria is an online bookstore, and you can get a copy of Sell Me This Pen. And we also host an event called Sales Fest Africa. It's held once a year. This year it's already happened. Every January we have a sales festival where we celebrate sales. And yes, we've done a lot of sales, including growing 700% in 1 year. All this, whatever it is that we teach you is what we have been able to do. And we've documented that as a science of sales. So this is that if you can do those things, then you will get the outcome that you expect. So that's Eunice for you. So let's just look at some of the mistakes that entrepreneurs make when it comes to selling. The number 1 mistake is that, you imagine that selling is something you do to people. You see, I want to sell to them. I want to convince them. I want to get them to buy. No, selling is not something you do to people. Selling is something you do for them. And then they accept it. So you do it, you're serving. Selling is a service. So you serve your customers. So when you change from doing to people to serving people, it becomes easy because it's no longer hard work. Because I know many people complain, sales is so hard. I don't like sales. I hate sales. Would you hate serving? Do you hate serving? Let me hear. Anyone here who hates serving? How does it feel? Let me just stop sharing so that I hear from some people. When sales is doing and serving, which one is easier for you? Martha, which is easier? To do, to convince, or to serve?
To serve.
You even feel like you want to do it, right? Yeah. So some of the mistake is to imagine that you have to do it to them. You do for them. It's a service. Okay. Number 1, the number 2 mistake that people make is to break. There's a law that we always break as entrepreneurs. I call it the law of average. So you become so desperate because you want to sell, to close that one sale, that particular one, that today I want to close Martha. And so I will hunt down Martha. This is how I was taught when I started selling insurance. Many people, complain that, insurance people are so pushy. Why? Because we are taught to, to push the sale. Okay. So you become very desperate that you're calling this same customer all through over and over again. Why? Because you're breaking the law of average. What does the law of average state? That you need to generate so many leads so that you close an average of a number of leads. So you don't just follow one customer. You need to have so many leads so that you close a few. That means that you know that you need to close a sale, but not this particular one, not Mother Karanja, but among the 36 of you, I will close a sale, but it doesn't have to be Jane, but I will close the sale because I already understand the law of average. You understand? So selling, you don't sell with desperation. When it becomes a desperate situation, it becomes so hard work. As I've mentioned, the other thing is to try to convince people. Sales is not convincing. Sales is making yourself, you have this beautiful, this solution for people, specific people, and you want them to be able to find you, make yourself findable. Is there an English word like that? You make yourself findable, upatikane, people should be able to find you. And that's why social media becomes such a booster to your sales, because it helps you position yourself in a way that people can find you. Okay. And number 4 mistake is selling what you want to sell. Majority of entrepreneurs, you're in that business because it's what is a product you like. For example, let me see. Who is here? Rita, you sell cakes. Why do you sell cakes?
Because it's what I love to make. And I knew you were going to use me as an example.
Because it's what you love to make. Okay. Let's hear. Beatrice Muteru, what do you sell?
I sell sweetness, smiles, and satisfaction.
Why?
Because I just like to see people smile when they see my out of the ordinary cake designs.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
And of course, I enjoy eating their money. We exchange that value. I am happy they give me money, plus I sell to them.
Okay.
Yes, and smiles.
Awesome. Jane Wajiko.
Hi.
Yes. Why do you sell what you sell? What do you sell?
I sell printed materials.
Why?
Papers. Why? Because I love creative and helping people visualize what they would like to see on paper or material.
Okay, okay. And many people, many entrepreneurs actually sell what they want to sell because they like it, because they have fallen in love with that solution, but not necessarily what people want to buy. So sometimes you may need to focus, not sometimes, you need to find out what do people want to buy and sell that. Okay? Because when you sell what you want to sell, it means you're the #1 consumer of your product, and you may not be so many of you. But when you sell what you want to buy, it means that there are so many other people who are looking for that thing, and you're just supplying that demand. I know it's deeper than this, so just think about it. And the other reason is you sell to everybody. So majority of entrepreneurs will wake up and sell to everyone who cares to buy, everybody who needs my product. So when you find yourself saying that you sell to everybody, it actually means you're selling to nobody. So those are some of the mistakes that I think that entrepreneurs make. So why is selling not happening in your business? I keep saying this so many times. Not only you as the entrepreneur, you may, I don't know how big your vision is, but majority of your salespeople have important goals. You know what important goals are? What do you understand by important? Important. It's a hard word. Geoffrey Mudui.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah.
What is impotence?
Well, the incapacity to to deliver or to produce or to reproduce.
Awesome. The inability, the lack of capacity to produce. Now, when your goals are impotent, what does that mean? That they cannot produce. You know, they are too small. And I like using this example. Imagine every day you're waking up to just work so hard to pay bills. Is that inspiring? Can that produce results? How inspiring is that? Let me hear from a few people. Alice, how inspiring is that goal? Ya kulipa ma bills na madeni.
Not inspiring at all. You have to have a goal to achieve, work to achieve a certain level.
Yeah, because it means you wake up and you're tired. Just as soon as you wake up, you're already tired. Like, oh my God, KPLC. You know? Last month, nililipa 10K. This month, wametuma, and by the way, I think it's increasing every month. This month, imefika 13. So if that is the goal, then it's not inspiring. Not inspiring at all. So that is the reason why your salespeople are not selling and you're also not selling. The other reason is that you have a black box like system. You know, a black box. It's whereby you know that something is going into this box. It's black, it's not transparent. So you know that somehow when salespeople go out, they come up with something. Now you don't know what exactly it is that has gone in there. But you know someday, because they went out, something will come out. But you don't know which day and you don't know what that something is that will come out. That means your sales process, you don't have a process that is clear on when do you get in touch, when does a customer get to know you, how do they like you, how do they trust you. You don't have that flow. It's a science. You don't have that science. And therefore, you make what we call accidental sales, and accidents happen very rarely. And because you also don't know who you sell to, you send them to sell to everybody. So they leave the office and they go sell to everybody. And when they don't find the everybody, they start their side hustles. Is that correct? Is that your experience in your business? So why should you, as an entrepreneur, be the #1 salesperson in your business? Number one, as I have shared, people buy from people they know, like, and trust. What does that mean? That it does not matter the brand that you have. I worked for a very big brand, but I still managed to build my own personal brand because people are not buying from the company. People were buying from Eunice. So when you understand that people buy from people they like, they know, like, and trust, how do you make sure that happens? Now, you as the #1 salesperson in your business, your work is to ensure that people know you, like you, and trust you. How does that help your salespeople sell? Because they will be riding on your trust. When they go and they say, yes, I work with Alice Mwaora. Alice is my boss. Then they are listened to. But if Alice has not built that process, those salespeople are really going to struggle. They will struggle. And you know what will happen? They will leave. And you will, Geoffrey Mutui, and you will say there are no salespeople.
Yes, that's what I say. We no longer have salespeople in Nairobi, Kenya.
Yeah, that's amazing because people are looking for jobs. It's very interesting. Yeah. But you see, you have to build that process of how people get to know you, like you, and trust you, because only when they trust, they will buy. And now your salespeople will be riding on that. And I can give an example. You see, because all of you are running, your own businesses, you're the one who is carrying this vision. You have to tell the stories. Derek told you that he writes words that sell, Before they get to the level of Derek, you have to be the one showing them, this is the vision. You're always sharing that so that when they go out, they are riding on your trust. So you must be findable, you as the business owner. And so long as you're findable, then your salespeople will find it much easier. The other reason why you must sell is because you are more adaptable than they are. Why? You created the product, you saw the need. You see, they don't have the vision you have. So when you go to the market, you're able to hear what the customers are saying, and you quickly adapt, change a few things. Now, when you do that, then you're able to, to transfer that to your sales team. So before they grow to that level, you must get out and get the job done. So when they come and tell you, no, this customer was saying that, you have been there, you know it, so it's easier for you to guide them on what should they do next. And number 3, you need to set an example. Imagine if every day you're asking for sales. Now, how now? You're the one who says, I hate sales, and then you have hired salespeople. So how does that connect? Will they ever sell? Alice, can they sell when they can't, the boss doesn't even understand sales?
No, I have to set an example. I have to lead from.
You have to lead from the front. The organization I worked with, I was leading a team of over 3,000 agents. Of course, there's a sales manager, there's a regional managers, there's a branch managers, there are unit managers. Yeah, it was a big company. So what happened is that at one point, we decided that managers must sell. And when managers started selling, sales increased. So you as the leader of your organization must sell, but your selling is gonna be different. And that is what at 20X, when we are training entrepreneurs, we teach you differently, how to sell different, because your selling is more of enabling. So you go to the market, you go with them, you see what they are doing, you see their challenges, and come and tweak the product, okay? So we are not saying that you will forever, be doing that hard job, but you must go with them so that they learn from you, okay? So we teach entrepreneurs to sell differently from salespeople, because salespeople have different, KPIs. You as an entrepreneur, you have different KPIs. All right. Please ask questions if you have any. Just a continuity. Why are they not selling? The sales team. And I'll start with, how do you pay your sales team people? How do you pay them? And I know some of you don't have sales team. And why don't you have sales team? For those who don't have, let me see in the chat. Are there people who don't have sales people? Why? Juliana, you can help me check. I want to hear. Okay, is anyone who doesn't have a salesperson in this? Simon, startup, what do you mean? Please explain. Oh, solopreneur.
Yeah, it means someone who has got a business, but you have not yet activated your activities. So that's the situation in which we are. We want to ensure that when we take off, we have everybody on board. So it's a startup that has no capacity yet.
Yes, it is. Okay. Can I say, let me ask, when you start the business, what is your vision? Do you want to scale, or is it a lifestyle business? You know, there are two different, there are different type of businesses. There are scalable businesses, whereby you're building for scale. You're building a multi-million business or a multi-billion business. And then we have lifestyle businesses. Lifestyle businesses is the one that you're calling solopreneurs, whereby you wake up, if you're a baker, you make the cake that, you make cakes when you want to, when you feel like, and when the demand is so high, you say, I'm not supplying. After all, it's your business, is it? So, I would like to understand that, because if you're starting up and you know that you're building for scale, then you start up with a person who is learning as you do. So you don't just, because you will still go back to the same. You have to train someone. So why don't you start with someone beside you? I know now you'll tell me the issue of cost. But the beauty with salespeople is, if you have a beautiful product that people want to buy, then you can structure in a way that you guys are like partners, so that then as they grow, they keep earning. Just like you should also be earning as you grow. How many of you earn a salary from your business? Mshahara. Juliana, what comments do we have there?
Sorry, I was muted. We have Jeffrey fired his whole team. Esther says getting quality salespeople, which is totally understandable. Going back, Martha does her own sales. She doesn't have a team yet. I'm adding yet for her. Yeah. Martha, as you grow, the team will come. Rita had told us that she's a solopreneur. As the customers increase, you become a bigger business. And then Simon had told us that he's a startup. Of course, he's just starting up. As the business grows, as opportunities become more, then he's able to get a team.
Yeah. I honestly don't think a salesperson is a liability in a business. I think it's an asset. A salesperson is an asset in your business. Of course, I hear you. There are challenges. You have a cultural issue in Kenya where people are complaining there are no jobs, but they still don't want to do the job. We also have, what is it called? This mentality, side hustle mentality, which the entrepreneurs here, majority of you created also. So it's a complex society, but we can navigate through all that. I believe we can find a way to navigate through that. So the question is, how do you pay them? Now, this is an important question to ask, because when you pay a salesperson a salary that is fixed, and you've given them targets, what is this? Why should they exceed that target? Why should they exceed the target? What is in it for them? I want you to remember one thing, that everyone, including you listen to one FM station. It's called WIIFM. What is in it for me? So your salespeople are asking that question. What is in it for me? You, when you're hiring the salesperson, you're asking the same question. What is in it for me? So can this what is in it for me merge? Whereby the salesperson is willing to give, and you're also willing to give, and you have an exchange of giving, so that all of you win. It has to be a very honest and open conversation for this to happen, okay? And the other thing is, there's a disconnect. You see, like, for example, Geoffrey fired all his sales team. Why? They came. How are they earning, Geoffrey? How are you paying them?
Okay. Thank you, Eunice. I tried a few models. I would give a retainer and also a commission if a salesperson exceeds the target, but hardly would they hit the target, let alone exceed. So it was simply not possible to keep them when they are underperforming grossly. So yeah, that's the reason for firing them, because it was not simply possible to keep them when they are not performing.
I get it. You know what could have happened? They could not connect their personal goals and your company goals. Now, when there's this disconnect, they will actually come, see there is probation for 3 months. They eat your retainer and go after 3 months. And if you're not keen, they will even stay for 6 months. Even 1 year, because you're not keen, you don't measure whether they are, performing or not. So after 1 year, you're so frustrated, the money is over, and now you can't even afford to hire another one. So you're letting them go too late. So this is, as I said, people listen to what is in it for them. So it is important that there is a merge, a connection between their personal goals and your organization. When that happens, then the salesperson will stay. Why? Because they're not working for you. Nobody wants to work for anybody. See, that's why you have started your own business. Because you want to work for, yes?
Without cutting you short.
Yes.
I think that is a very fundamental point, not only for the salespeople, but for everybody who is working in any organization, in any activity. And actually, that's how I come in, because when people don't see their personal goals tying up with where they work, whether they're employed or they do business, then they cannot connect. They just become busybodies. So people have got to see the value, what is in it for them to be able to get committed, be physically and mentally engaged to perform and even exceed it.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Simon, for that, addition and comment. When there's even new, you left the organization you're working in because there was no connection between your goals and the organization goals. That's the reason why we leave, because people don't work for anyone. People want to work for themselves. So you have to find how these two connect, because not everybody can be an entrepreneur, you see? But you can help your salespeople be intrapreneurs in your organization. Because, running a business, you all know, it's not easy. It's not a cup of tea. It has so many dynamics. If you're very good in selling and you start a business, you actually might discover that you're no longer selling. Why? Because now you're a finance guy, you're a HR, you're a, what else? Juliana, you're the marketing.
You're the secretary, you're the packaging guy, the receptionist.
Yes. Now, you might have been so good in sales, but then there are other things that you really have to stretch to be able to do. So that's why not everybody can succeed to be an entrepreneur. And you don't want to, if everybody becomes an entrepreneur, then of course nobody is working. Because then we will all be solopreneurs. So you must make sure that the personal goals connect with the organization. And then the other thing is, are there systems to support them? What systems have you put in place to be able to support your sales team? And as Simon has said, not only the sales team, all the members of the organization. What is the system? And one of the things that we help entrepreneurs is to create systems and processes that can support salespeople, so that you don't bring in salespeople and they find there is no system to support their success. Now, remember, if they don't succeed, they will definitely leave. And of course, and that's why I said you have to lead by example. They need to be coached. And you're the number one coach of your sales team. Of course, you can outsource the coaching process to us, but you begin, because you have to show them how you did it. You know, you have to walk with them the journey. So a few tips, as I said, I will share a few tips that can help. Number one, you as an entrepreneur, you need to have very clear goals and direction. Where is the organization going? What is the vision of the company? Where do you see the company going in the next 5 years? And this need to be clear and shared by every time that a new employee comes in. In one of our programs for business owners, we teach business owners how to write stories, to share stories. We call it founder story. You know, the founding story, that is so important, and the customer story. And then the employee is able to see, this is the founder story, this is customer story. They bring in their story, and now together you have a powerful story. So, but you see, you need to be very clear. Of course, you know where the company has come from, but do you know where it is supposed to go? Do you have a vision? Is a vision big, or is it important? And then after that, then you create a sales culture. How do you reward? Because salespeople want to be rewarded for value added. So how do you reward? How do you measure that? How do you train them? I know many entrepreneurs will say, if I train them, then they go. So which is better? You don't train them and they stay, or you train them and they give you value for 2 or 3 months and they go. Which is better? Let me hear from you guys. Jamlek, Mwangi, which is better? To not train them and they stay? Because definitely if you don't train them, they will stay. But what kind of people are staying? Or do you train them? They give you high value for 3 or 6 months and then they go. Which is better? Who is there? Mary Acheng. Mary? Okay. Please be alert because I'll be calling your name.
train them so that even if they go, you authorize the whole environment, business community, the right people.
Yeah. Can you imagine staying with a person who is a busybody in your organization? Because if you don't train your salespeople, you must not only train, they must be trained and coached. Training alone is not enough. There need to be coaching. Now, if you don't train them, they'll be very busy, and then you will discover that they're not adding value after 7 months. So 7 times the retainer you're paying, gone. Imagine if you train them, it would have taken you maybe 10% of that or 20% of that. And it would save you the 7 months of retainer. So make sure that you train your salespeople. Invest in them. And not only the salespeople, actually, even the other employees. Then encourage cross-functional collaboration. We at 20X, by the way, we train sales to finance people. We train sales, like there's an organization we've been training, it's a microfinance. And so we're training the sales team, and they told us, hey, we need this training for our credit officers. Our finance guys also need this training. We train that. Everybody in your organization need to be, if they're not selling at the front line, they must be enablers of sales. So there should be no other thought in the company. Everything they do should be towards a sale. And that's why it's important to invest in training. We call it sales for sales enablers. This is where we train the finance guys, the IT guys, the HR people. We train them on how can they support the sales people. Because once that collaboration happens, your organization becomes a sales machine. And then finally, lead by example. You have to be there, until when the company is, grown, and you can say, now I have the systems, I have the processes, my people are happy and they are selling and they are chasing their personal goals in your organization. I was telling someone, this culture we have of side hustling is killing businesses. I know this is not a popular conversation because we are in a country of side hustling. But if you look at it, you notice that your employees don't make more money in their side hustles. If they brought those ideas to the business, they would actually make more if you listened to them. They would make more and you would make more as a company. But what happens is that everybody thinks they can be a business person. And so they want to try out these side hustles. So they are so tired and cannot even be creative anymore because they have no time to rest or to, just be free. So you have to lead by example. So how do we help you create, achieve all these targets that you talked about, all these, the tips that I've given you? Now at 20X, we have different programs for different people. Our first program that we encourage the business owners and the salespeople to participate in is the 5-day sales challenge. What does 5-day sales challenge? What is it about? The 5-day sales challenge, the outcome we expect is that you and your sales team will be so clear on what is your goal, what is the vision you have. Each one of you as an entrepreneur, what is your vision? And the salespeople, their vision, not your business vision, their own personal vision. And even for you, it is your own personal vision. Because imagine, entrepreneurs are the people who are most harassed in this country because you forget your own personal goals because you're building a business. And you keep building, and you don't see the fruits of that building. So this is supposed to give you clarity on what do I want to achieve as a person? And then connect that with your own personal goal. So on day one, we take you through the freedom, that freedom of knowing, yes, I have dreams and I have vision that I can achieve that. So we take you through a process of just being clear on your vision, and then you break it down into daily activities, connecting that vision to your daily activity. Okay? And finding the customers that can help you achieve that. And then on day two, we look at, many ways of killing the cat, the lead generation. How do you generate leads? How do you make people keep knowing you and liking you and trusting you? And then on day three, we look at the 64-4 rule because all customers are not the same. So we look at the different type of customers that you have. And then we look at the different objections, why you get them, and where are you in the 20X blueprint? Why? Because 20X entrepreneur is a name that is coined to achieve. It's an aspiration that we have for all our entrepreneurs and our salespeople. Please note, as an entrepreneur, we want you to grow your business 20 times. It's our aspiration, okay? So and for you to do that is a blueprint. There are steps, there are stages of growing to that. You can't build a house from top. So you start from, where do you start when building a house? By excavating. And then you start putting the blocks. So we want you to understand where are you in this blueprint. And your salespeople will also understand where they are. You notice that where you are and where they are different. However, it's a science. It works for both of you. Okay? So do not send them and you're left behind. You should be leading from through example. And finally, we look at how to close the sale and what next. So the outcome that we expect from that is very, clarity. We're able to connect personal goals to organization goals. Now, once your salespeople are connected, then you are together. These are people who are going to stick with you because they see something. There's something in it in your business. And then we connect their vision, your vision to daily action. You're very clear on the customers you serve and how to reach them. You'll also start generating leads daily and consistently, because the point here is consistency and predictability. You don't want accidental sales. And then you will be able to understand how to move from one stage to the next of the blueprint. Okay? And Alice is here. Alice.
Yes.
Alice, please, sorry, I know I've ambushed you. You have gone through the 5-day sales challenge. Could you just briefly share what your experience was?
Very good, very practical. I learned how to set goals and achieve them, how to segment my clients, and how to create processes in my business so that I have the freedom finally to that even when I'm not there, my business will still continue. I'm able to take even a 1 month holiday and still find my business going on because I've put systems in place. And finally, how to do what? How to, when dealing with clients, how to make myself visible and move to the next client. If one is not buying because maybe they have no money, I move to the next one. Look for as many customers as possible, not just rely on one. Yes, and many others.
Sorry for ambushing you, Alice.
No, it's okay.
I should have prepared you.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, so
Eunice,
that is.
They have a question.
Yes.
Beatrice wants to know. Let me just read it. I am confused. Elaborate on how you can match the personal goals of the production team with company goals. Do I allow them to bring their customers to the bakery, Ama? That's her question. And it's a significant one.
That's a good question, Beatrice. And yes, as I shared, don't worry. That is our work. That is our work, to be able to help you first, you and your sales team, on how to set their own personal goals, and then connect those personal goals with your company goals. That is what we will take you through in the 5-day sales challenge. Only 5 days. And that will be very clear, and you will have that, light bulb moment. And you're like, oh my God, I should have known this long time ago. Oh, I'm already 3 minutes past the hour. Can I ask for 7 more, please? Just 7 more, so that we finish at 8:10. All right. Did I get the 7 minutes, please? Let me see. I just need 2 people to give me a go ahead. Oh, Eric is okay with that. Anyone else? Good, awesome. Yeah, so that is the 5 days. And
it's okay.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah. And then after that, depending on what level, because you see, remember, our goal is to take you from where you are, our aspiration, take you from where you are to 20x. Now, our timeline is 3 to 5 years. Why did we come up with this name? I personally was able to grow my income 20 times in 3 years. So if I could do it in 3 years, we believe that you can do it in 3 years, or even less, or even more, because we've documented how did it work, what exactly worked, okay? And you just need to trust the process and keep moving. So after the 5 days, you will, because you'll be able to identify what stage are you when it comes to the blueprint. Now, depending on what stage you are, then you can move to, we have 12 weeks accelerator. This is a coaching program where we meet you every week. So this is whereby you can't hide anymore. You just have to come clean and say, anyway, I have not been, like, if you set a goal last week to achieve a certain number of leads or number of sales and you didn't meet them, you come and report. So basically you're hiring us to be your sales managers for 12 weeks and to ask you very difficult questions that many salespeople don't like to answer. But all we want to achieve is that you double your sales in 12 weeks. At least your monthly sales doubles in 12 weeks. That is our goal. So we push you. You see this team here. You can see there's Faith here, there's Derek. We push you. We even help you write those stories that you don't like to write. We will do whatever is needed unless you refuse. Yani, unajua now, ukikataa, there's nothing we can do. But we are ready. You can see it's a big team. That is our work, to just walk with you the journey for 12 weeks. And then we have another one called the Leaders Mastermind. Leaders is not for, this one is not for everybody. This one is specific for business owners or sales managers who are managing more than 10 salespeople. Why? Because this is where now we look at your whole business, you know, who are you serving? What are the channels of distribution? And then we create a strategy, a very clear, simple sales strategy that you and your sales team will follow to achieve the results. And then we create a system and a process of hiring, you know, recruiting, onboarding, managing, coaching your sales teams so that they give you the results that you want. And finally, we look at how do you even evaluate them? What kind of conversations do you have when you have 4 meetings? That is for only business owners with sales teams. If you don't have a sales team, that is not for you. This one, the mastermind is for only people who have teams that they are leading. All right, so that's how you grow from one level to the other. And now I just want to quickly, I know the question in your mind is, hey, Sasa, just a minute. I'm just keeping a few things. Yes. So I want to just, so of course, there's your investment. Do you remember that one time David said that I cannot give God what doesn't cost me something. So for us to walk with you that journey, it needs to cost you something. You need to invest in it. Why? When you invest in it, you take it very seriously. It is not your secondary thing. It will be the thing you must do. So as we are pushing you, you already have a push from within yourself. So the 5-day sales challenge, this one we do every week, every Monday. It starts every Monday. And the value of that course is 45,000 shillings. But the current price is 15,000 shillings. And we have a limited offer. If you pay by 10th of June, then you will get it at 12,000 shillings. The 12 weeks accelerator, we recommend that you start with 5 days so that it forms a foundation and clarity before you join the 12 weeks accelerator. This one is valued at 150,000, but we are charging 60,000. It's is an offer. And then if you pay by 10th of June again, that would be 55,000. The mastermind for leaders, again, this is 75K, but if you pay by 25th of June, because it's starting on 6th of July, it will be 70K. So the accelerator starts on 13th of June, which is next week on Tuesday. The 5 days challenge is every Monday. All right. Any questions? You can share the link. These are our contacts. You can share the website on the chat for people to register. Yes, Maswali, it's exactly 8:10. Any questions? Any comments?
Good job.
Thank you, Simon. I wish I could see you so that when I meet you on the street, I know.
Well, over a cup of coffee, for sure. I'll organize that.
All right. Any questions, ladies and gentlemen? Any comments?
Jeez. I have a message here.
Okay.
Okay. I seem not to even see it. Sorry. Go on. Was to read the names of those who introduced themselves.
Mm-hmm.
We've had a long conversation. We have people who did not take the marketing opportunity, but we had Alice, who does electrical supplies, Alice Moira, Martha Karanja, who runs a bakery in Syokimau, Beatrice Moteru, CEO of Joybell Cake Center. She sells sweetness, smiles, and satisfaction. I love that. Larry Mosa runs Canaan Properties, real estate. Geoffrey, we heard from Geoffrey. Stella, CEO of Sweet Sensation Caterers and Cake Republic. I love that. We have Patty Muroki of Patty Cake House, located in Kiambu. We had Charity Mwende, who is a salesperson for Laventa Woods, and she had an interesting challenge. Her challenge is that people compare prices with others and end up not buying from them. So I was telling her, once you identify your value, then people don't look at price anymore. They look at your value and not the price. Then we have Anu Wanjiku, who does printing services. We heard from her. Veronica Nyokabi, working sales rep for Security Systems International. We have, if I forget you, please scream, Whitney Moro of OnPhone Media. This one's do SMS, short codes, USSD codes, and all those things that we need here for marketing and informing our customers. So you have a market here, Winnie. Talk to your people. We have Simon Moshiri, who has been our cheerleader today, leading chairman. Personal finance and family wealth services, tax, business accounting, and audited accounting services. And his greatest challenge is to activate sales and digital marketing. I told him to talk to us. We shall have a solution for him. Esther Masharia, who handholds businesses to achieve their goals. Who doesn't want that, honestly? Who doesn't want that? Have I left anybody? Emeline Buko. She just told us her challenge. She had a social media manager who did not deliver. So when that happens, usually it's because you either didn't hire right, or the person did not understand your business, or they had no interest. And yes, we have a solution for that too. Today, we're just solution-oriented, giving you solutions. Just reach out and see what we can offer you. You'll be amazed. We take actually that headache away from you. You don't need to look for your staff. You don't need to find where they are. You don't need even to interview them. We deliver for your staff who is trained, believe it or not, and who can do the job. We've already gone through the stories of, oh, I want this, I don't want this, oh, I'm a millennial, I'm not, oh, I'm sijui what. We do that for you. And then you're able to just continue with your staff who are selling and who understand why they must sell. I hope I'm not taking too long. Larry Mosa. I think I've basically mentioned everybody who wrote on the chat. No, Justin Abea wrote. Have a great presentation. He works for, Julie works for Jubilee. Yeah, for Jubilee. Very nice. Anastasia Mashira, cakes. And I'm telling you, I love cake. Gosh, this is just a great group for my love of cakes. Suleiman Marende wants a soft copy. We'll send for you a recording of this as soon as it's ready. So don't worry, you can be able to go through this and hear it all over again, not just the presentation. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming, and we are really happy that you're here. Asante. Go on, Eunice.
No, it just to address a few comments there. Those who are talking about social media. See, one of the things we do on the 12 week, we have people who join 12 weeks who are shy. You know, actually they deleted their Facebook accounts because they don't think social media is important. We help you navigate that. You actually do it practically because 12 weeks is practical. So we will, you know, for example, if we are teaching you on how to set up a Google for Business page, it will, I mean, we will ensure that that is done, is set up, and you start marketing. It's the same for other social media profiles. So by the time you're done with 12 weeks, you actually are selling online. So for those who are practicing online, we just join the 12 weeks and we are good to go. Yeah. So we train both online and offline. So thank you very much, everyone. Please get in touch, ask questions. It doesn't end here. Keep asking questions. I'm sure you have Derek's contact or Faith contact because they contacted you. They reminded you for this meeting, I'm sure. So please ask all the questions that you have. Feel free, and see you in the next class. Have a good night.
Good night.
Good night, guys. Put my number on the chat if you're interested in calling up. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you, Veronica Nyokabi.
Good night.
Night, night.
Fatma is asking, how do you reach us? There's a number there. Juliana has put her phone number there. And I am putting mine.
Yes, I've just reposted it.
Yeah.
And that's for Eunice. 22 is for Eunice. Anytime. Any of us is good.
Yep.
Even Derek, the one on the poster.
Yeah, or Faith.
Don Kahika, nice to see you after many years. Where have you been? The Don.
You already left.
Oh, he's still here. I think he is muted on the way to leave.